Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the ultimate quantum puzzle. What is everything actually made of? We all know the standard atomic model from school, but what happens if you smash a proton apart? Well, today we are exploring the standard model. Think of it as the quantum periodic table. It's a collection of 17 fundamental particles that weave together to make up the entire known universe. Now, it can definitely look a little bit messy at first glance, but I promise you, once you see the underlying pattern, it is absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's dive into this. So, what happens if you crack open a proton or a neutron? You don't just find tiny, solid spheres or empty space. What you actually find is a chaotic, roiling sea of quantum fluctuations. Within that intense storm, the core structure is made of incredibly tiny, bizarre entities called quarks. And this completely subverts our everyday expectations of solid matter. The solid table you're sitting at, the air you are breathing right now, it all ultimately breaks down to these fundamental, indivisible building blocks that don't look or act anything like the large-scale objects they create. To keep us from getting totally lost in the physics, we're going to build a clear, logical map of this quantum periodic table. Here is the game plan. First up, we'll look at the two major particle families. Second, fermions, the matter particles. Third, bosons, the force carriers. Fourth, the Higgs, the mass giver. And finally, we will wrap up by exploring the standard model's limits. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the two major particle families. It turns out, literally everything in the universe falls into one of two strict, distinct camps. On one side, we have fermions. These are the stuff particles. They make up you, your chair, everything. They obey this rule called the Pauli exclusion principle. Basically, they're the introverts of the quantum world. They absolutely refuse to share the exact same quantum state, so they have to stack on top of each other, kind of like physical bricks. That is literally the reason why physical objects have volume and don't just collapse into a single dense point. Now, on the flip side, we've got bosons. These are the force carriers, the forces acting between the stuff. Unlike fermions, bosons are the extroverts of the quantum realm. They love crowding together. They don't mind sharing the exact same state at all, overlapping smoothly like waves. So in short, fermions are the matter and bosons are the forces. Moving right along to Section 2, fermions, the matter particles. Let's move to and see how this builds as we unpack this first family. Fermions themselves split into two distinct subfamilies. First up, quarks. These are the heavy, fundamental building blocks that gang up to form protons and neutrons. Think of them like the ultimate quantum baking ingredients. If you want to bake a proton, your recipe needs exactly 3 quarks. Specifically, 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. Want a neutron instead? Just swap the recipe. Take 2 down quarks and mix in 1 up quark. In total, there are exactly 6 flavors of quarks in the standard model: up, down, charm, strange, top, and bottom. Fun little aside here, the name quark was actually pulled from a James Joyce novel, Finnegan's Wake, by the physicist Murray Gell-Mann. But the vital takeaway for us is that only the up and down quarks are stable in our normal, everyday matter. The other 4, charm, strange, top, and bottom, are much heavier and decay almost instantly. That rapid decay is exactly why we really only spot them in extreme, high-energy environments, like deep space or inside massive particle accelerators. That brings us to the other half of the fermion family, leptons. These are the much lighter matter particles, and their defining quirk is that they totally ignore the strong nuclear force that binds quarks together. Because they don't feel that strong force, they operate entirely differently. This is the family where we find our old familiar friend, the electron, happily buzzing around atomic nuclei, powering our electricity, chemistry, and basically all of modern technology. And just like quarks, there are exactly 6 leptons. We've got the electron, the muon, and the tau. Plus, each of those has a highly elusive partner: the electron neutrino, the muon neutrino, and the tau neutrino. Now, what's really interesting about this is those neutrinos. They are incredibly light, hold 0 electric charge, and barely interact with normal matter at all. Get this. Right now, as you're taking in this explainer, trillions of these ghostly neutrinos, forged in the core of our sun, are passing straight through your body every single second, and you will literally never feel a thing. All right, let's shift gears to Section 3, bosons, the force carriers. So we've covered the matter that builds our universe, but what actually holds all that stuff together? That's where bosons come in. Fundamental forces aren't just invisible waves. Instead, think of forces as physical packages being tossed back and forth between particles. It's like two people standing on a slippery ice rink, throwing a heavy medicine ball back and forth. Every throw and catch pushes them apart. That's how a force carrier works. First, we have the photon. It carries electromagnetism, so all light, radio waves, X-rays, and magnetism. It's completely massless and zips around at the speed of light. Next up, gluons. Just like the name implies, they carry the strong nuclear force. They act as the superglue violently binding quarks together inside protons and neutrons. They're also massless, but they never travel alone. They are forever locked inside other particles. Finally, the W and Z bosons. These guys carry the weak nuclear force, which is responsible for radioactive decay and actually kickstarts nuclear fusion in our sun. But unlike photons and gluons, the W and Z bosons are absolute units. They are incredibly heavy, roughly 100 times heavier than a whole proton. But wait a second, looking at those forces, isn't something glaringly obvious missing from that list? What about gravity? Well, scientists hypothesize a particle called a graviton that should carry gravity. But here's the catch. Gravity is so staggeringly weak at quantum scales that we've never actually found it. Gravity is completely missing from the standard model framework. And, that's our very first major clue that this incredibly precise scientific map is actually incomplete. Which brings us to section 4, the Higgs, the mass giver. For decades, the standard model had a massive, glaring problem. The underlying math predicted that these fundamental particles should be completely massless. But that was obviously false, right? Electrons have mass, quarks have mass, the W and Z bosons have a ton of mass. So where the heck was it all coming from? Through the early 1960s, physicists were really struggling with this problem. Then, in 1964, Peter Higgs proposed a beautifully wild solution. What if there was an invisible field filling all of space that actually gives particles their mass? That idea kicked off a dramatic, near 50-year hunt for what the media dubbed the God particle. Finally, in 2012, using the massive Large Hadron Collider at CERN, humanity actually found the Higgs boson. Peter Higgs himself was in the audience, wiping away tears as the discovery proved his life's work was correct. The theory was complete. So the crucial point is how this actually works in practice. The Higgs field gives mass. Think of this field like a thick, invisible syrup filling the entire universe. As particles move through it, they interact with the field. The more they interact, the more they get bogged down and the more mass they gain, kind of like trying to wade through deep water. Photons, they don't interact with it at all, so they zip straight through endlessly with zero mass. But the W and Z bosons struggle heavily through it, which is exactly why they are so incredibly massive. It's an elegant, intuitive mechanism that literally shapes the physical weight of our reality. And finally, section 5, the standard model's limits. Let's zoom out for a second here. We've mapped out humanity's most accurate scientific theory, one that predicts quantum behavior down to 10 decimal places. But here is the climactic twist. It still fails to explain some of the biggest phenomena in physics. Like we mentioned, there's no quantum theory of gravity. There's absolutely no particle in the model for dark matter, even though we know from observing galaxies that there are massive amounts of invisible weight out there. There's no explanation for dark energy, the mysterious force accelerating the universe's expansion, the matter-antimatter asymmetry, basically why there's more matter than antimatter, allowing us to even exist, completely unsolved. On top of that, neutrinos unexpectedly have a tiny bit of mass, which the model originally said was impossible. And the whole why 6 pattern, like why are there exactly 6 quarks and 6 leptons? Total mystery. We literally don't know. And this brilliantly illustrates the staggering reality of where science stands today. The 17 particles, the 4 forces, the omnipresent Higgs field, everything we just relentlessly explored in the standard model only accounts for a mere 5% of the known universe. Just 5%. Let that sink in for a minute. All the stars, all the planets, every galaxy, and every human being who has ever lived, we're just part of that 5%. The remaining 95% of the cosmos is made up entirely of that mysterious dark matter and dark energy we just talked about, waiting out there in the dark, completely beyond the reach of our current best map. But hey, despite its limits, the standard model remains incredibly beautiful. It's weird, it's a bit messy, sure, and it's definitely incomplete, but it describes the 5% of the universe that makes up you and me with breathtaking precision. The quantum periodic table shows us that reality is far stranger, way more dynamic, and infinitely more fascinating than just solid blocks of matter. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Out of the quarks, the leptons, the force-carrying bosons, or the mass-giving Higgs, which fundamental particle fascinates you the most, and why? Let your curiosity guide you and keep exploring.